Hello again. The National Teaching Awards were created to honor excellence and dedication by South Africa's educators. Well, this past Friday, yesterday, the National Teaching Awards were held in Kempton Park in Johannesburg. Well, Vanderbijlpark teacher Emmanuel Bhila took top honors in the Excellence in the Secondary School Teaching Award category. Also, one of the big winners on the night was the Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Elizabeth Mampane Mokhokela, in fact, and they're both with me tonight to talk more about their wins. Ladies, gentlemen, good evening. Thank you both. I feel the need to say ma'am and sir when I address you. Let's start with you, ma'am. You have been teaching since 1983, I believe.
Absolutely.
And this year, a Lifetime Achievement Award. Did you see this coming? Were you expecting it?
I didn't expect it at all. I was just waking. Yes.
And you started teaching, I think, life sciences. What is
I did
biology? I think it was at
yes,
the time.
Yes, that time it was called biology in grade 11 as now. But that time we're saying it's Form 4. Yes.
And when you look back at over 30 years of work, almost 40 years, in fact, now, teaching, did you ever think that you would be where you are, not just professionally, but in terms of how the occupation itself has evolved over the years?
I was looking forward because I come from the background whereby my parents were teachers. So I really wanted to be the best because I saw it from my father as a principal, my mother as a teacher. My mom taught me in grade 3. So I really aspired them as my parents. Yes.
Let's talk to the younger Menier at the table. Mr. Bhila, you have been given, and I want to read this for everyone again. So you got the Excellence in Secondary School Teaching Award. It wasn't too long ago that you yourself were in secondary school.
Yes, definitely.
What has your journey been? In fact, let's start here. Why teaching? Because a lot of young people don't want to become teachers anymore.
You know, it started in high school when you see our teachers going an extra mile. And at some point when you explain the concept, your fellow learners, they understand it better. Then that's where I saw, you know what, there is potential.
So everyone was like, this is going to be a teacher. All your classmates knew.
Yes, and I started developing that love for the teaching profession. Even before I became a teacher, I had already enjoyed the whole profession.
Did you study teaching or did you follow something else?
No, I studied BCom Economics and International Trade. Then later on pursued my career in postgraduate certificate in education, which is commonly known as PGCE.
And Mama Elizabeth, when you look at this younger generation of teachers, what are your thoughts when you look at how the two generations have sort of come together? I mean, you would have taught people that are Mr. Bhila's age, and now here he is also a teacher in the space.
Actually, I'm excited about young educators because I believe that they are more advantageous because they find technology which make them more sharper than us. You know, we were you'll get stones there and add, but they just pop it there on the screen. The children see it, it's colorful. So it's really exciting. I feel that they are the right people for our learners because our learners want to see things and things must be also visible and exciting.
And you know, you're my mother's generation, so she always refers to herself as a BBT, a born before technology. Mr. Bhila,
yes.
What, as a younger teacher, are you learning and taking from Mama Elizabeth's generation?
This is one generation that values education. You know what, even at some stage they might get tired, but they know the importance of education. Things like plan before you go to class. You prepare, and when you get to class, make sure that you do justice. Those are some of the things that we will forever be grateful of from the generation Yabo Mama. And Siyabonga Kakhulu.
Yes, true.
And you have all faced such a weird time teaching during a pandemic when the children either couldn't come to class at all or were only able to join online. How difficult was that for you, ma'am?
Actually, from my background, it was actually worse because I presently I was a principal for the school intellectually challenged learners. Firstly, our learners don't want to put on the mask, and not that they don't want, because of the type of learners they are. Some are Down syndrome, their nose are small, and their tongue are big, so they open their mouths. So for them to put a mask is a challenge. So we always use the face shield, but even some for them, it was irritating them, especially the learners with autism, because they don't want to have something that is so too close to them. So with that, it was really a challenge. But because we were staggering and we have fewer learners, it was easier. I believe that that approach helped us so that we can enter our year of 2020. 2020 was the worst, but 2021, I felt that we were adjusted. Now we were understanding COVID-19.
And I'm glad you brought up the subject of children with special needs,
Yes.
because often when we talk about education, planning, the curriculum, and various other changes, we forget that there is an entire
all the
population.
Yes.
What more do we need to do for those children, do you think, over and above COVID-19?
I believe that whenever they do planning, they should go to the grassroots and understand the teachers who are facing the learners daily, because they are the ones that are confronted with those challenges. So I believe that if we interact in that way, we work with our district and the district work with our head office, things will be easier. But the people who start to make the policies, sometimes they have the oversight of the whole thing. But truly, I've seen that we are coping with 2021. It was easier. Our learners were all back, and we were continuing with our contact time.
Emmanuel, did you have an easier time teaching during a pandemic when not just the children, but you yourself were trying to figure out what was going on?
Well, it wasn't easier, but we had to adapt. COVID was just new to all of us, the learners, teachers themselves. So it was challenging, but at the end of the day, we had the mindset of actually saying, if it's here to stay, then we need to find the best way of dealing with it. And if we fix ourselves psychologically, then we'll be able to also encourage these learners to say, even if the pandemic is here, we need to soldier on.
You are a secondary school teacher. Yes. I think all of us who've been through that phase know that we can be quite a lot to handle at that age. How do you cope with all of those teenagers? Because often you're not just dealing with the curriculum, right? But you're also having to address behavioral problems. You're sometimes dealing with personal issues that come from home and filter through into the performance of the pupils.
Yes, that's true. You know, I'm currently the TLO of the school. That is the teacher liaison officer. And I take advantage of that. I engage a lot of times with these learners. And one thing that I've seen that is actually working for me is to actually don't make yourself their enemy. That is not what they want. You speak the language that they want to hear. You go to the level where they are. And trust me, the results are so good. These people are my friends. And they know that when it's time to work, it's time to work.
But how do you get that right? The line between being the open, relatable teacher and yet everyone knowing that when you want your homework to be done, you want it to be done.
Yes. It's difficult. It's difficult, but at the end of the day, it is what it should be like that. If it's period for accounting, we only have an hour. Let us work. After that, then you are more than welcome to do whatever that you want to do. But we cannot even afford to waste a second. That's the lesson that I'm always telling my learners. A second is important. Therefore, let us differentiate. Hence, when it's lunch, I'll never come and bother you. But if it's during my period, then we definitely need to work.
Mama Elizabeth, let's talk about your baby, Dugatole.
Yes.
How that came about and the work that's done there.
Yes. Dugatole actually was a primary school, but because of the enrollment, they had to merge with other schools, the other 3 schools. So I was the person who started the school from scratch. It didn't have anything. actually the district wanted some principals to go there, but because there were no learners, no principal volunteered. So I was the deputy of Zimeleni School, and I volunteered to go to Dugatole. It was not easy, but hard work. And the teachers I had there, when we started, they could see the gap. You know, when you find that there's nothing, everybody put his mind on it. And we worked as a team, and we worked very hard. It was 3 educators, myself as a caretaker, and we had also a groundsman, and we have an administrator, and also a cleaner. 7 of us. But we made it. We had only 27 learners, but we pushed through. Today, Dugatole has 318 learners and about 50 staff members that are departmental paid. And the 26 of educators and 24 of PS staff, that is the groundsmen, drivers, those that are working there.
So it's a fully fledged functioning school.
Fully fledged school, you can like it.
You've been teaching almost 40 years?
It was going to be 40 years in 2022.
Yes.
But I just retired in September.
Have you bowed out now?
Yes, I feel that I have raised the bar and I've left the legacy for them.
Will you miss it?
I will miss it a lot.
Do you already miss it?
Yes, a lot. I love the children. I love the staff, the educators. You know, there are dedicated educators that you feel, even sometimes I was feeling very tired. But when I remember these personalities who are working very hard, I will just wake up and say, I'm going. Because I was encouraged by many educators who are dedicated to the type of learners that we are having.
Emmanuel, a few more decades for you to go. Can you match the 40 years?
All I can say is wow.
Your hopes and dreams, personally as a teacher and for the profession as a whole, in the next few years, what do you want to see change, perhaps, for teachers?
The perception around teaching. So many bad things are happening in our profession. And the young teachers, what I want us to actually learn is what Mem just did. You know what, there is quite positive things that are happening in the teaching profession. And it would be nice if the likes of Bomem, when they come back, they find schools being a better place for learners and a much safer place for these learners. And not forgetting entertainment. Remember, school days should be happy days. So these are some of the things that we wish to see or we hope to sustain. We sustain the little that we have. Even in the nearer future, 10 years' time, we still brag about such things.
Well, I'm going to take a recording of this conversation and send it to some of my teachers who are not so fun. But thank you so much for being here, Emmanuel Bhila and Mum Elizabeth Mampane Mokhokela. Thank you both, and congratulations on your awards.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting us for time.
And you've actually got your award now. I don't know if we can hold it up. Maybe I can also help you. Let's see. I'll try to move along. There we go. We have it. Let's get a shot of Mum Elizabeth with her award to that camera. Let's hold it up there, this way. Can we all see it? There it is. That's how you bow out of the teaching profession in style, with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Let me hold on to it for you, Ma, so we don't break this. It's precious cargo. You're watching News at Prime on Newzroom Afrika, DSTV, channel 405, while I acquaint myself with this masterpiece.